welcome in to the next part of our Let's Play Humankind series. Very excited to be jumping back into the game. We've been slowly progressing through the ancient era, but I will tell you, the ancient era is definitely the era that packs the most into one era. So many decisions about so many things need to be made in the ancient era that I feel like I don't mind spending extra time on it in order to make sure that we kind of really delve into all of the different nuances of the ancient era and how it really sets you up to be successful in the rest of your Humankind game. So if you need to catch up on the rest of the series, I'll put the link to part 1 down in the description below so you can check out the rest of the series. This is part 5 of our Humankind Let's Play series. Let's jump into the game and see where we left off last time. All right, here we are. This is the continent we've explored so far. It's a pretty large continent. We did set it up so that we would be on a continent with a friend, well, potential friend, also potential enemy. It turns out that Icarus, one of the members of our community, is here on our continent. We also have Plosif over here on another continent beside us. These continents are very close together, which is intriguing because I don't know that we necessarily set the map up that way, so I'll be very interested in exploring the rest of the map to see what happens. But we now have a relationship to manage from the diplomacy screen to see exactly how that's going to go. We also need to set some borders. We need to make sure we're claiming land, set some borders with our friend over here in purple, and then we also have right here another continent that sure looks like it could be the New World, and so we might want to start trending towards some exploration and land claim over there as well. We're not getting there yet. We've got to claim our own land first. And the other thing we're watching out for is we have 2 free people cities here. One that is not quite a city yet, and we don't know about this one. We're sending some units up to check it out, and we want to investigate whether we can snag a city. Our first order of business, though, and this is generally speaking my suggestion in all Humankind games, especially if you're about to try to capture a free people's city for free or acquire it through any means, because there's other ways, obviously assimilation, to acquire free people's cities. If you're trying to do that, don't do it with your second city. Always use influence to get your second city in if at all possible. And the reason for that is cities exponentially increase in influence cost. And so if you claim a free people cities, if you assimilate it or conquer it or anything of that nature, that will then up the cost of you actually purchasing that third city now that you would be putting in yourself. So just a strategy tip. Always try to get your own city built second and then go take other cities from free peoples and other people. That's, in my opinion, just the way to go, just to take advantage of those cost differentials. Okay, we're going to end turn and keep things rolling in our Let's Play series. All right, we've got armies kind of running all over. We like that these are peaceful free peoples. We were dealing with an aggressive free peoples, and we were having a little bit of trouble with them, if you recall. This is unfortunate because we are now blocked from going where we want to go. However, I'm not opposed to going around this way. I think we could just do that. So we'll just make the trek back. We'll avoid the block that's happening there, and of course we'll be able to pick up any nice little curiosities we find along the way. This particular group is scouting out the rest of the territory along where purple is hanging out. That is a stick point. We might be able to get in there if we can claim some sort of treaty with Icarus. So let's open up our diplomacy screen. You can see we have a pleasant relationship. We are currently in several treaties. We're trading luxuries. We have a non-aggression pact, and in one turn, we can make our next treaty-related item, and so we could choose trade everything. Because Icarus is feeling pleasant and happens to be loyal, careful, and trusting, I'm relatively certain that we might be able to just propose an alliance. This would cost us influence, and even though it would only cost us 10 influence right now, I'm just going to wait a turn. It's not going to hurt me too badly to wait a turn on this, and so that's what we're gonna attempt to do. We also want to buy this silk once we've saved up enough money for it. But we'll wait for the alliance because that will drop the costs on some of those things as we could propose some new treaties. But I think we'll sit right here because next turn we'll be able to kind of enter Icarus's land and continue that exploration. All right, this group is the one watching this outpost. This outpost, at some point in the near future, is about to become a city. our hope is that this unit moves off the city, and then we will jump in and take the city. That's the goal. But we'll have to see what's happening there. I think we have enough time to jump down here and be able to grab this curiosity. So I think we're going to do that now. I know I was holding, but I think we're going to, if we disappear for a little bit, maybe it will encourage that unit to move.
Time will tell if they are helpful, helpless, or history.
Okay, and so the outpost is down, as we already knew, and this is that aggressive Free Peoples. Okay, interesting. So that tells us something over here as well. Remember the peaceful Free Peoples we left over here? They are probably looking to claim land, which, unless they belong to this tribe, which is possible, I guess, but I don't think so. So they're probably looking to claim land. That's a lot of Free People cities in a continent that already has 2 players on it. So we're going to have to figure out how we deal with that as the game kind of moves on. All right, these guys can go and grab this curiosity before they continue some land claiming as well. Nice, that's one of the science and influence ones. Those are, in my opinion, the most powerful ones. And the other thing that we do need to start thinking about that we can do in the ancient era that we will not be doing for quite some time probably is wonders. So we can see that Plosif has already claimed the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, so a very early wonder claim by Plosif. And the pyramids, the Temple of Artemis, and Stonehenge are all still available. I don't have enough. You need 250 influence. I don't have enough influence to claim these. Now, the way wonders work in Humankind is all you have to do is put the claim on the wonder, and then you can build it anytime you want. So it's not like a race to build the wonder like you might find in other games. In this game, in Humankind, you claim the wonder using your influence, and then you were able to build it at any time that is convenient for you. So Plosif may have claimed the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, but there's no telling whether he's built them or not, or whether he when he will build them. Typically, the AI does build them, but you don't have to. But if you don't build your wonder, you can't claim another one. So you can't claim multiple wonders and then pick and choose which ones you build. You have to claim them, build them, and then you can claim another one. So in the ancient era, wonders become very intriguing because there's so much to spend your influence on that getting 250 extra to claim a wonder, you have to start running the cost analysis. Well, we really need a second city. So for me, we're going to get that second city in before we think about building up enough influence to claim a wonder. Now, if you've got some extra sitting around, the Hanging Gardens, the Pyramids, Stonehenge, and Temple of Artemis are all very, very nice wonders for different purposes. In fact, they might be some of the better wonders in the game. And so then you really have to start thinking about like, okay, well, if I want the extra food bonus from Stonehenge, I probably want to start saving up for it, right? If I want to be able to put that manufactory on and get the wondrous state resources at half cost, maybe I want. And then pyramids, you've got the minus 25% district industry cost. That's huge. 25% industry cost reduction off all of the districts you build for the rest of the game in that city is a big thing. So stuff to think about. And then Artemis, of course, makes a 10% health regeneration on unit. You get a big stability bonus as well from this, as well as some faith. And your units ignore movement penalties through forests. Pretty nice if you're going to be waging some war, right? So all good wonders, and you want to be thinking about when might you want to put a claim on that. You can see even early in the game, it's something that the AI will start to go for. The other thing that wonders get you is fame. Each of them, I believe, grants you 100 fame, right? Yeah, 100 fame, 100 fame, 100 fame. I'm pretty sure that's standard across all wonders. Now, at lower levels, medium to lower levels of Humankind, the fame gains from the wonders are probably not a make or break kind of thing. However, when you start to trend up into the higher levels of Humankind, especially up at the Humankind difficulty levels, making sure that you capture that 100 fame bonus instead of the person in second or third place who's trying to catch up to you, or if you're trying to catch somebody, that you're getting those fame bonuses from building the wonders, becomes a very important part. At the Humankind level, difficulty level, you really want to optimize fame, and so getting wonders is definitely one way to capture a little bit extra of that. Okay, we're waiting for this to become a city, outpost, sorry. It's got one turn left to become an outpost, and then we need to save up I believe it's something like 250. We'll see in a moment. To get our second city in, because that's what we want to do. So that's what we're saving our influence for right now. There we go. Perfect. We now have the outpost in. Now, this is an 11-9 outpost. I'm not opposed to that. I think this is actually a decent city placement for us. All right. Now we've run into yet, okay, 160, so that's not too much. So we're close to that. So now we've run into another potential problem. So this Free Peoples did indeed put a city down here. So now we have 1, 2, 3 Free Peoples outposts in our land. One of those is going to have to get burnt down because that's far too many cities to hold. They're too close to each other. We won't be able to attach enough territories. So we're going to probably have to fight at some point or assimilate and burn down, which kind of feels bad. Sus is now a city. Okay, so of course, the minute, and it has a population right off the bat. Very interesting. Okay, so on this particular one, we will not be able to demonstrate taking a free people city because it has one population already. It also had that unit on it, so if that unit were to have moved and it were to have 0 population, we would have been able to just walk into that city and take it, which is what I was looking to do and hoping to do, but we will not be able to do that. So, let's click on Sus. We can go through this now. Over here is something important to look at. So, they have 2 orientations on the ideology's axes, right? Here, they are trending towards the world, and they are also trending towards the authority. Now, we are not going to trend towards authority. We probably will trend towards world because I happen to like world considerably better than the combat strength one. So this, we could try to get close. What this does is impacts our proximity, right? So if we're closer in proximity to them, they will gain patronage with us at a better rate, and they won't lose patronage with us as well. So we do want to try to align with them. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to assimilate them into our land. Now, we have a choice to make. We probably want to start gaining some patronage with them, because if we don't start gaining patronage with them early, it will take a very long time to gain patronage with them. So I know we were saving our gold for different things and we were making very little gold. I'm gonna at least get us started on this turn moving towards assimilating this city, because I think this city would be one of the cities that would be pretty good to claim. It's very well placed. It's a very nice city. It's sitting in a really nice kind of mix of food and production. I think it's going to be a nice city. There's a lot of great connection points around it. So I'm going to go ahead and put gold into this. And the reason I'm going to put gold into it instead of influence, number one, influence is a premium, and I need it for a lot of things right now. I need gold less currently. But also, our current assimilation cost is in influence. If you spend influence to get your patronage up with them, the cost of assimilating with that currency also increases. So if we pay gold currently, the cost to assimilate doesn't increase in influence. Now, vice versa, there is a civic you could put in that will make it so that you could actually assimilate using gold. At that point, if you have put gold into that patronage, that gold cost will have gone up. So you kind of have to time out, like, okay, are we going to put that civic in? Do we want to spend the gold or do we want to spend the influence on the actual assimilation cost? I think we're probably going to be wanting to assimilate this city pretty early, and then we won't have that civic. So I'm going to put 40 gold towards it. We're now gaining at +2 per turn. So we have to get to 100 in order to assimilate them. So we'll continue to look, and you'll see the cost here went up. And we'll continue to look at this and track that so we can throw a little extra money at it every so often to try to make it so that we'll be able to assimilate the people of Sus and add that to our city list. All right, so these guys don't need to go back there. They can swing in over here. Excellent. We've got a couple of lovely curiosities these guys can check out. Oh, they can get 2 in 1 turn. Nice. 2 in a turn. Beautiful. All right. This is up on a cliff. And they're aggressive. We might try to poke our heads in here just to see what's happening. We also need to leave some units down here. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to split. I'm going to go ahead and run a split. We're going to transfer one guy. We're going to leave one guy back. These guys, I guess that one guy could probably go grab that. We want to get up here, and we want to find out what's going on with this territory. This guy's going to go grab this really quick, and then he's going to come back and watch that new outpost that just got put down. Okay, so we're going to come back and check this out, because we could claim that as a city. We want to try to get a free city at some point out of somebody. So we're going to check that out. Wow, we got a whole bunch of curiosities to collect. Okay, Icarus is looking for a treaty. He wants to trade everything. I'm going to accept this.
Fascinating.
I'm going to accept this because I'd like to trade everything. But then I'm also going to go back, and now you'll notice it doesn't cost any influence because I waited the appropriate number of turns. And I'm going to propose an alliance. Nice. Icarus has accepted the alliance, and that now will open up a lot of things. Number one, that he has discovered the Great Blue Hole, and also that he has discovered a couple of nice forests. So we can now see more of the map. And we'll look at that in a second. We'll also notice that we can trade strategics, which we already got from that previous treaty that we'd signed, and all of our treaties have now changed. We now have alliance-related treaties. So when you are in an alliance with someone, all of your treaty options change. I like to go for a customs union first because it makes your trading cost less. So the buyer is acquitted from any non-essential fees when accessing this empire's resources. The seller still gains the same amount of money. So basically, the person who is has the resource is still gaining the same amount of gold, but the person who is buying the resource actually pays less, which is great. It's great both ways. So we want to try to enact this. That's what I will propose. The rest of these are all really good as well. Scientific gets you more science, and culture gets you more culture. So we're going to go for culture after this probably, but I like the customs union so that we can try to buy some of those resources at a cheaper cost.
This proposition should
Icarus has countered. Icarus wants 66 gold to accept this. Now that is a very low amount of gold. So I am actually going to accept that because I'm going to save that amount of gold in just the trades that I'm going to make with him alone.
Yes,
so I'll take that. I often will not take those if the gold level goes much higher than that, but 66 gold is acceptable currently, even though it's a solid chunk of my money. Like, that's going to help us in the long run. So we're going to go with that. I do want to buy horses as soon as I can, and we actually can buy the horses. So that's going to gain us a bunch of food. We're going to pay 49 gold for a naval transport. That's how we want it to go. You can see it's going to come apparently all the way around the map. That's a very strange route. You can't even see it, but it's only 57 gold. Boom, perfect. We've got more horses.
A first trade link.
Yep.
So many interesting questions arise. Barter or currency? Exchange rates? Tolls and taxes to fill your coffers?
Thank you, Mr. Narrator. So what you will now notice is we had access to one horse, correct? This horse right here that we had purchased in. We now have access to 2 horses, and one of them you can see is coming from Priest King Kid Icarus, the Egyptians. So we've gained access to a horse. Well, what has that done for us? Well, because we have the animal barns in Corral, we're now getting +5 food because we have one more horse. So every horse we add is getting us +5 food because of those animal barns. So pretty exciting. All right, we have choices to make now. We need to build our next building in our city. We are at 16, 6 of 16 population, so we have plenty of population room. We are growing at a pretty decent rate. We have some leftover food still, so food is not a problem quite yet, but we want to start thinking about how to get more food. I think what we really want to do is probably put in our first holy site. It's good to get a holy site in because it's going to get you into the religion game a little bit faster than it might otherwise. We also want to start thinking about putting in our ceremonial plazas. We're going to want to think about that pretty quickly. And we also have other infrastructures we can start thinking about as well. In fact, if we need more food, boom, blood irrigation, +22 food if we put that in, right? If we need stability, we've got access to public fountain. We don't need those things right now. So my inclination is let's get our holy site in because that's going to be impactful on religion early in the game. And that's when I think religion matters most in Humankind. So now we have options. Where are we going to build the holy site? Now, the holy site does a couple things, and it also doesn't do a couple things. It does not exploit tiles around it. It does not exploit the tile it's on, to my knowledge, and I believe it actually burns the resources on that tile. So we want to find somewhere that is not a great tile that we might not exploit for a very long time, because we're going to be kind of removing that tile from the game and replacing it with a holy site. Now, The other key thing with holy sites to note is that the proximity of your holy sites to other people's land will create additional religious pressure. Now, I can't tell you what those numbers are because I don't know how they work in Humankind. It's very difficult to kind of ascertain that information. But we know that we have Icarus here and Plosif here. And now we have seen that I believe Brown is the Burly Gamer is up here as well. So now we kind of know where we might want to put some pressure religiously. This border was probably going to be contentious from a religious conversion standpoint. So if we zoom in, we can actually see, like right here, that is just a one production tile that is like a stone or rocky field. It's not the greatest tile in the world. So this might be a very wonderful spot potentially to be able to put a holy site because it's kind of smack dab in the middle of that border. You could also look at something like this spot right here. That might be another spot as well. Anywhere along here actually could be potentially good. Now, the further north we go away from our city, that might cause some issues for us in the long run, but I think anywhere along here is going to be a great spot for this. So we might start even down here because there are some resources here that might make it optimal to put some research quarters in. So I'm going to go and put it down here. I'm going to go one off the coast. No, I think we'll go right on the edge here. I'm going to go right here on the edge. Boom. We're going to put our holy site in. Now, the holy site, if you will notice, it's just slightly different from most projects. You'll see this up top. It is a project, not a build, right? So you can actually have multiple cities working on it. We obviously don't have a second city currently, so we will not be doing that. But it's really, really excellent on holy sites as well as on wonders. You can actually have multiple cities working on it at once, and all of the production from those cities will then go into those projects that you're working on, which I think is a fantastic addition to the game. I think it really brings that added kind of empire feel to it, which is pretty nice to have. And also getting that extra production bonus is a big deal. Okay, let's bring these guys this way. I kind of want to make sure, like, these guys are sitting on their city. I don't like that at all. I don't like they're sitting on their city. All right, we now have well, now we don't need to go. Well, I guess we could go after this. If Icarus is going to pick that up, I guess we could send our guys to go snag that, explore some of his land. But we can now see Icarus's land. Here is what the Egyptians have claimed so far. It looks like click on the city. 1, 2, 3 connections. Nice 3 connection city. But that's it. That's all they've claimed so far. So Icarus is definitely going to be looking to move into these territories. And we're probably going to have to give up these 3, would be my assumption. And then we'll probably take everything in that kind of area. And that should give us enough to go off of, especially if this is, if that is the new world and we can move in that direction. Okay. I think that's good. They're still sitting on that spot, which is unfortunate. We got the little exclamation mark here, so I believe that's just the fact that we made an alliance, so I don't think that there's anything else that we need to do over here. All right, let's end turn. This guy's just sitting here. Oh, no. Okay, that guy's moved. As long as they don't spawn another unit and that guy stays away, we have an opportunity. Potentially. Maybe. Okay. We'll keep that unit moving. This unit is going to grab all of these curiosities. And then probably this unit could actually probably watch this city. So I think we're probably good, even though I split them specifically for other purposes. I'd like to be able to see what's going on over here. We're just going to peek in. This guy actually probably could peek in as well. In fact, we might just jump in over here. Let's see if these guys have units. They probably do, and we're probably going to entice some sort of fight out of this. But if we entice a fight and we drag their units out of the city, it could be interesting to do that. Because if we get their unit out of the city and then the outpost becomes a city, we might be able to claim it for free. So because they're aggressive, you can kind of coax them out of the city and try to go for that cheeky city steal if they have no population in it, right? So we're going to keep a close eye on this one and this one. Now that we know that we cannot get sus. Sus is no longer an option for a free grab, so we're going to try to assimilate them at some point. We might look for our free grab out of one of these spots. Okay, now we're at 160 influence, which does give us exactly the amount we need to put our second city in. Before we do that, we have to debate whether we want to put this Artisan's Quarter on and then wait an additional 2 turns. What does this get us? It's gemstones. Okay, so in other words, in my opinion, not worth it, because the gemstones get us +2 money per gemstone on market quarter. We don't even have any market quarters built, so the value of this gemstone is very low right now. It would just be worth the +4 stability, and we're not in any sort of stability trouble currently, right? We're at 97, perfectly fine, cranking right along. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this territory here into our second city. Now, is that going to end up conflicting with whatever of these we end up turning into cities? Yes, like we'll deal with that in the future. We just need to get a second city in because we need to increase our influence generation. And that best way to do that is get another city running and start increasing population. Those are the 2 kind of big components early game. Get your second city in, make sure you're increasing population. That will increase your influence generation, which is huge early game. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to get our city in. Hua To is our city. And then again, we're not going to build the Artisan's Quarter. And in fact, we're going to go straight into our pottery workshop because we want to increase that influence generation. Notice, we could work on that obelisk of the gods, but we're generating such little production in this that it's not really going to make a huge impact on that. In fact, even if we selected it, taking 7 turns right now, we could cut it down by 1 turn. Is that worth it? Probably not at this point, not when we could help this city generate more influence over time. So we're going to not do that. And in fact, we'll just build the pottery workshop here. And then we'll get to work on some of the other infrastructures that will increase our food generation because we want to start growing the population in the city as quickly as possible. Okay, let's end turn. And we're keeping an eye on our 2 areas to see if those are going to proc into cities. 2 population in sus already. And there's the fight. All right, that's interesting. So they're way down here with one of their units. That's okay. So these guys are actually free to do whatever they want. We could potentially, if there's not a unit here, actually just burn this down. But we'll run the risk of this one also having population when it starts. We'll have to play around with that. All right. Nice. Grab that curiosity. I think we just grabbed, yep, this one up here. Big curiosity. A bunch of gold. Oh, we grabbed this curiosity as well. Nice. Curiosities make a huge difference. Always be searching for curiosities. Okay, I'd like to see... I can't... Until this battle is done, I can't see what's going on over here. So we're going to go ahead and open this. I would love for these guys to retreat this way. I sincerely doubt they're going to. So the fight is us versus 2 chariots. That is a highly bad fight for us, so we're going to retreat. And we're going to go the wrong way, of course. No problem. Those free peoples are going to move in. That might end up being an attack between the free peoples. We're going to try to pop one of our units up here. I don't know if we'll be able to see anything from there. We have to go all the way around to get up to that city. That is very defensible. That is going to be very tough. Okay, it's going to be very tough to get up there. Those cliff placements are brutal. We might need to send this guy through Sus's territory so that we have someone on both sides. I think that's what I'm going to do. This guy's going to go this way. I'm going to split this group again because any way we cut it, they're not going to, the fight is not going to help us. Like, we're going to have to retreat from any fight with them. So I'm going to send this guy to see if we can't snag this in front of Icarus's troops. And then this guy is going to make his way this way, although he's probably going to get attacked, but let's find out. We'll try to surround this city with units to see what we can do. Okay, we don't want to fight that guy, so we will just wait. These guys have now explored all of Icarus's land, which is great. And we probably want to use them now to come and claim some more territory. So I sense that we want to get this unit back into this area to start claiming some land, and probably this land here will be a good claim for us to help kind of set that border with Icarus. The free peoples are kind of setting the border for us right now, so we can kind of operate off of that. Okay, you'll notice we're now making 40 influence per turn. Substantially more than the 27 or so that we were making before, so we're starting to get our population up. The second city is generating influence, all important things. Family matters. Once a wandering tribe, your civilization now possesses a fine city where generations of families have settled and grown. Individuals are known by a single name alone. But with more and more citizens, it is becoming harder to track family lines, to know who is related to who, in order to better identify your people. You believe it is time for citizens of the same family to take a common second name. From where should the family name originate? Ah, a fascinating choice. Obviously, we've had different cultures throughout history that have taken different options here. The most common probably being father, but nature is also one that has also generated that. So very interesting. All right, so if we choose mother, we can identify the newborn's mother as never a matter of dispute. That's true. And so we would move towards the social axis towards tradition, which is not really where we want to go. We want to go towards progress. We could choose father, which moves us towards the authority axis, which we also don't actually particularly want. Or we can choose nature, which moves us towards the world, which is one of the things that we want on the geopolitical axis. So on solely the fact that that will move us towards one of the political, the social axes that we want to be on, I am going to choose nature. Perfect. Also, I think that's kind of, honestly, that's the fun choice to me as well. All right, let's end turn.
An enormous leap forward.
Nice.
From mundane tallies of crops to recording the wisdom of sages, humankind now wields the most powerful tool of all.
So, writing has been researched. I don't think we were the first to research it, otherwise we would have gotten fame, but we'll see. That gets us reduction on enacting civics, which is great, access to the market quarter, the food market, as well as the House of Scribes, so we can kind of start to diversify what we're doing.
Things that one generation
perfect.
learned can be passed to the
Nice.
next via something more reliable than campfire stories.
So you'll remember one of the things we did is actually push for writing early on, and that is because it is one of the world deeds that gives you fame. Now, this is something important to cover. We'll hit the locate event button, and we actually want to, oh, that didn't actually take me where I wanted it to go. Let's discover this. Let's go to this. Oh, that doesn't take me to the world deeds. All right, let's find the world deeds. Here we go. Here are the world deeds. So you'll see that there are a slew of different things over the course of a game that will earn you fame outside of your typical star-based fame system. So what we might want to look at is how do we accumulate some of these things? And in any game, most of these are pretty much similar. Obviously, the wonders that are on the map will change that, right? We discovered Halong Bay first, so we got 50 fame out of that. The Great Blue Hole was discovered by, right, we see here, Icarus, and so Icarus got the fame from that. So exploration is a great way to gain some extra fame. And then you see all of these different things. Some of them are things like just researching something or doing a particular thing. Set foot on an uninhabited continent, something that we'll probably go after. That's a big one, 150. Circumnavigating, 150. Discover 100% of the world, 150. So there's some big ones that you can also go after. These are all things to be thinking about. How do we optimize those things? So we just got wait, where is our one we just received? Where's our writing one? There it is. Verba, Volant, Scripta, Manette. Because we discovered writing first. So first to discover writing gets 50. That's one of the earliest ones that you can get. So that's something that you can go after if you're looking for a little extra fame to cap off some of your fame gains from your stars. Now, we are not currently in first. It looks like Sarge, 100 Games, 100 Days, is currently in first. But we're pacing. We're pacing very well. So let's continue our turn. Another nice curiosity gain. This is population increase, so that's perfect. Our second city has increased pop. There is... so we did manage to steal that from Icarus, so that's nice. Icarus's army was right there as well. And we probably want to start putting in some claims. Now, you'll see our influence generation is spiking. We want to be able to claim some land. I really think that... I think that these three probably should be left to Icarus, but man, we could probably claim these. If we claim these, that would put a lot of pressure on Icarus and kind of give us access to a lot of land. It also might end up causing him to settle somewhere down here, which would be very painful for us. But I feel like we might be able to snag, like this territory might be realistic to take. And we're not connected to it, so it's going to cost us a whole bunch. But we're not going to be connected to just about anything at this point. So we might want to think about jumping into this land and seeing where we might settle. And this is definitely going to be the 814 down here is going to be big. It's right on river. I think we might go do that. It only costs us 78. And we can make this claim. It's going to be worth it. I think we're going to start claiming up this land up at the top. And that may force Icarus towards us. So we're going to have to start claiming things very quickly. But we'll see what happens. All right. So we have now... Our unit that went this way has drugged the aggressive Free People's armies further down. So again, we will retreat. And we will play a game of cat and mouse with these aggressive Free Peoples until they become a city. Once they become a city, we can pay them money to not fight us anymore. Or we can try to assimilate them or even just take them out if the city becomes available. All right, this guy was split just to go find stuffs and things, and he probably... See, we could come make this claim right now. We could come claim this land. Gonna cost us 78. We could make the claim. We could snag this territory straight from underneath Icarus. Gosh, that seems like... That's the spot, too. We could actually do it on this turn. This is very aggressive. We're going to make this play to try to claim as much land here as we can. We probably don't need to, but we're in an alliance, and I don't think that this territory, remember when we walked through it initially? It's beautiful. I think we just try to take this. We're going to forward settle hard. Hard. They're going to enter the cultural sphere of Icarus for sure, but usually we can actually get some bonuses from that. We'll have to see. Okay. This unit is now stuck because Sus is loaded with troops. That's funny. So we're gonna have to swing these guys. These guys might be the ones that come around and try to do this. We're gonna have to get someone over here now, though. Whose goal is it gonna be to get here? Probably these guys that retreated. We'll swing them around back here. We're trying to watch both of these, right, to try to pick up that extra city, which is actually a very big deal. So these guys are just gonna wait. We're gonna hope they move, and then we're gonna pick our next research. Here's what I like to do as we get further into the era with research. We need to build stuff really badly because we're a builder. We're a builder affinity culture, and we haven't built very many things, so we need to do that. We have our expansionist stars already. We need also our population stars. So we're sitting in this era for quite a bit more time to grab a lot of this stuff. So as you can see, our science stars are actually doing okay, right? We're progressing science at a decent pace, so what I like to look at that for is if we need a bunch more science to max out our fame stars in the science for this particular era, I would start to pick some of these very cheap ones, right? Because that's going to get us closer to that faster. Now, I don't think we need to do that quite yet, mainly because we probably don't need to move up very quickly, right? So we got a few turns left. I'd like to get our harbors as quickly as possible, so that is going to take us through carpentry and into fishing. That's one thing to think about. The other thing to think about is if war is upon you, this use reinforcements under organized warfare is going to be your key thing to key off of. And then also sailing is going to be a very big deal. We also want to get to trade expeditions as quickly as possible so we can get our people in the water and go explore the new world. So that's going to be kind of our first goal when we move up, is probably trade expeditions. Philosophy is big as well because of the +1 cap, so you want to kind of prep. Like, we're ready to go into philosophy. If we moved up, we can get philosophy. We're not ready to get trade expeditions because we need to have sailing first, right? Based on the tree. So things to think about when you're messing around in your tech tree. Let's continue a little bit here. We've got our, obviously, carpentry researched. Our religion is spreading. And now we have another fight, which is not surprising. These Free Peoples have been pursuing us all across the land. They are now pursuing us to this location. Let's go ahead and open that. And wait, who are we fighting? 2 damaged warriors? They actually say that this fight is evenly matched. I just sincerely doubt that that's true. Could our 3 scouts defeat these warriors? I just don't think that it's... The Humankind is telling us yes. Maybe if we had favorable terrain and we were attacking and getting first... I mean, defending is probably fine, but we don't have favorable terrain here. We're going to be at a disadvantage, so we're just going to retreat again. I thought about it. It tempted me. But I don't think that that would have been a good play. I think we would have lost a bunch of units there. Plus, this way, maybe they get drugged further away from their city. Like, they're getting... Oh, wow. Okay, city in, population 1 already. That is fascinating. So yet another city that starts with 1 pop. So no free take. Now, I don't know if this is a change that was made, and in fact, I don't think it was, because in an offline game that I was just playing, I was able to take cities for free that had 0 population in them when they started. But this was the suggestion that I made to Amplitude. Like, I have said, I think that all cities should start with 1 population, because then at least there has to be a fight, a legitimate fight for that city. So there you go. Lulabon is formed, and we should now immediately, if at all possible, put points into it. We can't because there's an ongoing battle. So let's open this. Oh, and we can't retreat. So they are pursuing us to the ends of the earth. Manual battle, we're going to lose our units here most likely. So we're just going to try to run them away somewhere. I want 1 unit here. I want 1 over here. And then we're just going to end deployment and just try to run as far as we can. We're probably going to insta-die. Both units might die immediately. They've taken the flag, which is actually great for us. So that unit is dead. This unit is going to try to escape. There's nowhere really to go is the problem. I can't, the battlefield is so tiny. I can't really get him anywhere. I probably should have just stayed on a defensible spot. But we can just maneuver away. So the guy is dead because they're both going to hit him, so. All right, well, we lose 2 more units to the aggressive Free Peoples. Such is life when you don't have an army, like me. All right, lost more scouts. Kind of a pain. But we don't have the option of taking the city anyway. I strongly dislike this. I think we will end up burning this place to the ground, is my general assumption. Yeah, they are exact opposites from us on these things. It's going to be very difficult to assimilate them. I am going to pay 40 gold to get at least this process started. Once you get into this tolerant area, it means that they won't attack you anymore. Kind of sick of them attacking me, so we're at least going to get that started so that Lulaban will stop attacking us and we can start continuing to claim territory and land in the area, right? That one is in. We're going to go ahead and get this claim in as well. Actually, they're going to go do that right now, so we'll just hit that button. They're going to put our outpost down. Perfect. So now we are claiming land. Highly aggressive land claiming happening today. These guys are going to go claim this piece. We're going to try to do a full cutoff. Just the full cutoff. We're going to have to wait a couple turns to make that claim. But these guys are going to jump on river here. Probably the spot for this is probably up on this plateau, which is going to be very difficult. I guess up here is where we get to that. Okay. So that's going to be an interesting... We're creating some interesting conundrums for ourselves. All right, this guy can now just get out. We don't need him to go look at that. So this guy can, in whatever fashion, way, shape, or form, we could just start maneuvering him out of this particular area. So let's just get him over here. Okay, never mind. He could come. Yeah. Oh, we have a unit to grab those. So he can continue on his path. That's fine. Okay. I think that runs us out of time for today. I know we didn't get very many turns again. The Ancient Era, because I'm trying to over-explain everything, the Ancient Era is just going to take some time. We had to talk about things like the holy sites. We had to talk about wonders. We have got diplomacy. We've got Free Peoples. Also, the Free Peoples situation here is getting completely out of hand. 3 Free Peoples in between our own land now, because we just super hyper-aggressively claimed land to try to claim more of this continent and really kind of cut Icarus off at the heels by taking land right around his space. So we'll come back down. We'll be claiming land. That will be our kind of MO, is these units will just come and lay outposts down. We'll connect them all later. And we got to figure out what the heck we're going to do with all these free cities. It's completely a mess up here with free cities. Some of them are going to have to go. We can't keep all of them because that's a little wild how many are there. So that'll be our plans moving forward in the Humankind Let's Play series. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 5 of our Let's Play Humankind series. This is a lot of fun. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you are, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. Then you'll be able to get notified if you have the notifications on when I post new videos and new content to the channel. Every Sunday afternoon is when I'm releasing these Humankind videos currently, so we'll have our next episode next Sunday, so I'm looking forward to that. If you have comments, please feel free to comment below. The thing I love about 4X games is that we're always learning from each other, and I don't play everything perfectly, and everyone's strategies are a little bit different, and so that's a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you next week.